Is it possible for a cordless lawnmower that guides itself and maps your garden in minutes? Well, yes. Today, we bring the Mamotion Yuka Mini 600, a lawnmower that will take the automation of your garden to the next level. As it features advanced positioning, artificial intelligence, cameras, and total control from the app from your smartphone. So let's get to know it and put it to the test in today's video. Get comfortable and join me here at TechGround. Mamotion is an emerging brand focused on design and robotic development for gardening. And they are, above all, implementing artificial intelligence, computer vision, and total connectivity in their devices. To forget about manual maintenance and let the robot do everything for you. If you enjoy this type of content, you like home automation, technology, and all the gadgets we analyze on the channel, I invite you to subscribe, leave a like, and of course, turn on notifications. Let's proceed with the unboxing to see the contents of the box and how we assembled it. With the two boxes, including the black box containing the device, the Mamotion Yuka Mini 600. And on the other hand, we have this little cardboard colored box in which we will have the roof where the device will be covered. Let's see what comes first in this big one, and now we open the other part. As soon as we open the box, we find the quick start guide. On one hand, we have all the components, all the parts well named, so we know what each button and each part of the lawnmower is for. Right underneath, we find the base of the station, which will be anchored to the ground by 4 screws. The user manual, complete in all languages, is on top of the cardboard. The antenna will be threaded. This antenna is from the RTK. It will be placed just below the mushroom, some spare blades and screws, a spare of the safety key of the device itself, a brush with a plastic bristle brush to clean the robot. In this little box we find the different cables, the power cable for the robot and the power it will have. They are 28 volts, 2.15 amps and 60.2 watts. The European connection and a male-female, which will be connected through this triangle, a 4-pin male-female extension cable to increase the distance. Regarding the satellite reception, another box where we also get another transformer. In this case, this will be for the mast of the satellite station, also with a 4-pin connection. A small bag where we find the different screws with the tool and guide wires also for anchoring to the ground. We also find 4 plugs with screws for the wall, in case we want to put the RTK anchored to the wall instead of putting it on the ground. A screwdriver with a Thor tip on one side and a star tip on the other. The different parts of the mast for the RTK. Here we can observe in this part the thread to be able to embed inside the mushroom and also be able to oscillate in the direction, in case we put it on the ground or wall. Simply the two parts will be joined by a thread, and at the base we will put the spike so that it is inserted into the ground through this point. Here is the mushroom with the connection that we also have 4 pins to connect and power through the power source. And this point where we are going to embed the antenna. After unboxing the robot and removing the plastic wrap, we find it comes in 2 parts. The missing part of the station, which will be the contactors where the robot will be directly powered, which goes this way. Here to click can also be screwed for greater security. As we can see, here are the sensors for receiving and the contactors for powering and energizing the device. As we can see on the back side, we have the 2 connections for powering the robot that will go through this triangular male-female connector and the 4-pin connection for the RTA. The device would already be underneath. As you can see, we have the omnidirectional swivel wheels, the disc where the 5 interchangeable blades go, and the rear cleated wheels for traction, both of which are motorized. And we can apply traction in different directions to be able to pivot with the device. As you can see, I bring it closer here at the front. Yeah, we have the 2 cameras and the LED panel to illuminate and be able to visualize at all times the obstacles and see what is happening from a distance. These would be all the elements we have. We are going to open the next box, which is the garage of this Mamotion Yuka Mini 600. This thing that I mentioned was the little roof. I'm going to take it out of the box here. It's well protected, also with corks, even though it comes in a very thin box. Black jars with the brand name, with Mamotion right there on top. Here in the middle, I suppose the screws will come, or there will be anchors which come from here, correct? The screws are very good that they come like this, not loose. A die cut side down here. And here to make the click with the M from Mamotion here. This part tells us that these are the tensioners for the sides. And these would be both parts. We have the full kit, including the device, charging station, all add-ons, accessories, and even a small roof. So now let's go with all of this. We pick it up and we're going to test it in the garden. We're going to use these screws that we have here, which come already in their plastic. Now once the base is installed, we're going to take the RPK sensor mast and we're going to proceed to configure it. First, we'll connect the male and female parts of the antenna as described in the unboxing instructions. We screw the two parts of the mast together, and up here we have a swivel in case we want to screw it into the wall. We're going to use the spike part right now because we're just going to stick it in the ground. As you can see here, it's also about screwing this part. We remove this part from here. As you can see here, we have the tip to stick into the ground. As we have this thread, we're going to screw it. It's about arriving and seeing that we don't have any roof above, and we stick it. It would already be fixed in the ground to be able to connect it to the power. We have the male, and from this part here at the back, we have the female and connect male with female. We also have what you've seen before, the transformer to independently connect this to power, and the extension cord. In case we put it on the wall and the device is below, you can have both things connected to the power. In this way, what we have right now is this cable thrown to the receiver where the device's connection also goes, and we're going to connect. Now yes, the power supply of the station itself. To power both the robot and the RTK, from the back, two cables emerge for the RTK and power connection, along with two small triangles. What we're going to do is pair them and synchronize them with a click like this. And we take the power to connect it to the light switch. Okay. And the penultimate step would be to put it in the base of the station before putting the garage to see how it works, that everything is correct before also connecting it with the application. So we're going to take it to its area, we're going to put it in its place, we take it off. Also, the sticker on the back of the sensor is important. We need to understand its position. As you can see, all the lights have turned on here now. We just need to synchronize it with the app. Everything is pre-configured and pre-installed. Let's open the app and I'll start recording the screen so we can do the process together. Here we have it. I've already logged in. So we have the necessary devices, services, and applications. Profile, and we are going to add a device right now. It says so. Check the device name located on the bottom or side of the device near the barcode. Here we have it. The name is correct. It has recognized us. Both parts are known, both the robot and the satellite part, and we are going to add it. Via Bluetooth, our connection was found and the device was successfully added. The robot is currently connected to a your input doesn't seem to be a metric system. Please provide a valid metric system units such as kilometers, grams, liters, etc. Network. Would it be advisable to set up a Wi-Fi network for the robot? I'm going to give it Wi-Fi. I gave it my Wi-Fi network. Let's see what it tells us now. Here we have the device that we can rename. We have it, the coverage of Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. Your input doesn't seem to be a metric system unit. Please provide a valid metric system unit such as kilometers, grams, liters, etc. and the battery percentage. Here it doesn't say the positioning status, the satellites, the signal quality. Okay, all the configuration. The work area was not found, charging station not located, although it says that it has found us a work area because we don't have any recognized at the moment. So yes, the weather looks ugly. I'm going to set up the garage and we continue with the configuration, okay? Finally, we are going to proceed to set up the garage. As you can see, there are three large pieces. The two metal tubes, 1 meter tube, another tube to fit with the parallel. We disengage. Here we have the closures to grab the tubes. In this way, we are going to put it like this so that each tube goes in its place. Through here now, underneath, we will close the tensioners, and this would already have strength to arrive, and couple it and put the screws in. We simply locate it, put the screws in, finish screwing these screws, and we would have our MAMMOTIONYUKAMINI 600 ready to work. We have here its base, we have put its roof, its garage, and the robot charging. So it's time now to move on to the configuration with the phone and see what it's capable of. Okay? We've set up the entire system for rain protection, including the garage. The station and robot are turned on and fully charged. we are going to start recording the screen and we are going to see with you how we configure the robot. In this way, you can see the interface with the connection above and the status of various parameters. On the right, we have the adjustment menu where we can configure the network, task logs, load logs, the robot, and the app. As you can see, and the manual operation not to cut the grass on rainy days, different functions and parameters that we can configure manually. We have the contact for help in case we want to chat online with technical support. The different sections of the different robots that we can configure if we have more than one and nothing. Here it tells me that no workspace has been found. The area remains unrecognized, but the station is fully charged to 100% as shown above. And we also have the option of manual operation so that we can move and make the record of our environment manually. Below we have three sections: the device that, what we have seen, the service where we have the user manual, videos, tutorials, maintenance, help, and so on. And our profile, where we can connect with platforms like Alexa, Google Home for directly by voice command, and doing the functions we want to tell and ask the robot and the configuration. So we are going to do it. The record, we are going to create it for what it says, please. First place the robot at the edge of the lawn, and then click to start recording the limit. The manual operation here, we can already take it out, and it tells us to place it at the edge of the lawn. In this case, I'm going to bring it here. I press play. The robot has reached its destination, and here we can do a manual mapping of the environment or an automatic mapping. The robot will automatically walk along the perimeter using automatic mapping. We are going to delimit an area, okay, which is going to be the safe area where we are going to work, and in this case, we are going to do it manually. We go to this end. As you can see, it is already registering in the application this as driving a directed car. After all, the mapping of the area has been completed. What I have done was to make the complete journey until reaching the starting point. We save it, and here the complete area would already come out. Area number 1, that we are supposed to be able to make different adjustments. What if I hit the FPV? As you can see, we have the camera where we will be able to see ourselves in a practically with a slightly low delay. We have a bit of delay, but we will be able to see what the robot is doing like a video call. In our application, we can create area, create obstacles. This comes great. For example, in this part for the manhole topic, I marked pools, flower beds, trees, roots, trenches. This is great. To indicate, in this case, we start a mapping of exclusion zone to indicate that it should not pass through that area. Which would be, for example, here, what we are going to tell it is that it should not pass through here at any time to avoid the manhole. In this way, we are managing ourselves the areas where we do not want the device itself to act. And now when we return to the starting point, it tells me that I can save it. We are going to change the name of the area. Let's see if it lets me rename it here. We confirm we save, and we would already have our predefined saved area. Remember that we are going to do up to 10 zones simultaneously. And indicate the steps he has to follow to go from one area to another. In case we want to have several areas, for example our garden, independent, and finally create area, as was being discussed, the obstacles. Channel, use the channel to connect the different areas. That is, if we have, you can see here, if we have different areas, then we have to mark ourselves. A road, a path connecting two areas, and pattern. We can even draw, if we want to have a drawing on the lawn, for example. Here it doesn't allow us to make any text, to make any shape, any heart. It's going to draw us a moon, it's going to leave that section uncut, and it's going to make a shape in the garden. Yeah, and this truthfully is a bit aesthetic. It has its touch, it has its charm, but well, I want to use it. Let it know that it's ready, so nothing. Let's test it and see how it performs. I'll send it to the charging station and check if it returns independently. And it starts charging. Great. And here we will have notifications of everything that is happening. If there is an error, everything that the robot is doing, hear the bell, we will have the notifications. Let's see the test, how it behaves. We have already seen how we have done the recognition. I now show you the interface. How has it turned out once you have finished the connection and the recognition done on the robot. Here you can start or add and schedule new tasks. So in this way it tells us the selected area, a selected area, which is the test area. Okay, in settings, what type do we want? An optimal cutting angle of the root, for example. Here we can customize it, or we can set it to optimal random. It will already recognize how it has to plot the route when it is arriving. The navigation mode. A unique grid, a double film, that is, that it passes once, or that it passes once vertically, for example, and another horizontally. That is, make a perpendicular cut and level it in a grid-like manner, as you are seeing here. The robot will cut the interior perimeter of the grass in the forbidden zone twice. This can be enabled here. The robot should not cut the interior perimeter of the grass. Perimeter cut activated. That is, the robot will cut the interior perimeter of the grass twice, in this case, to leave it flush with the exterior of the perimeter. The robot will proactively avoid obstacles to prevent collisions. We can set it to off or to be standard or sensitive to avoid risk. I, for example, am going to set it to sensitive because it's the first time we're going to cut and I don't know how it might behave. And start the progress from 0 to 98%. Having this already, we have here adjusted that it's 20 square meters and it's more or less stipulated that it's going to be 44 minutes. We'll see how long it takes to do it this intensive way. I'm adding a unique grid to find out. That reduces the time to 20 minutes. That is, everything we do that's more complex within the application will obviously increase the time. So here we can program it, tell it to do this for X days, at a certain time, a fixed interval or weekly. These would be the programming options we have, so I'm going to hit start and we'll see how it behaves. Okay, state self-test, it's doing the checks, so we hit next, everything is okay, and it's supposed to start cutting. And here we're going to be watching the progress within the application. To see at what point it is in the cutting process, it's starting right now, at any time we can go, and if there's any anomaly, hit the stop button. In this case, I have chosen for us to have 30 millimeters in height, as we can choose between 20 and 60. Well, we're going to give it that distance. I'm going to set it to 40, okay, 4 centimeters. It seems to be fine. We're going to keep working. We cancel the return and keep working, and it has to go back to where it was. And here we can see where it's working and the pattern it's going to follow at all times. In such a way, I'm recording it so you can see it big. The Yuka Mini 600 has an elegant, compact, and very functional design. Having dimensions of 52.5 centimeters long by 41.3 centimeters wide and 28.1 centimeters high. Having a weight of just 10 kilograms, it is stable, has a plumb and ideal settlement for residential gardens, like the one we are in today in the video, in this case in white, as you are seeing it. Built with high-strength plastic materials and with IPX6 certification, it can work in the rain without any problem. But if we have this garage that we have set up here as well, then we will have an extra point to protect it from adverse weather conditions. It has 2 knobby wheels at the back with a much larger diameter than the internal wheels we have at the bottom, which we can see here are the omnidirectional front wheels, which would be smooth, but they also have a small pattern. The disc with the 5 blades, a disc that is approximately 15 centimeters in diameter with interchangeable blades that we can change ourselves as we have spare parts for them, and on the top, the manual control. How do you see this combination of black and white colors throughout the product with some touches in yellow? The sides and top. We find on the back this manual control, as I was telling you, with the 4 power, standby, home and action buttons. The push button to choose the height of the blades from 20 millimeters up to 60 millimeters that we can choose for it to cut. Emergency stop button, which must be restarted by pressing home to return it to the charging base. We have here the battery indicator, which in this case we have 4 little lines, a safety key that we will raise and lower to put the device in safe mode. The rain sensors that we have on this top part and the positioning sensor that in this case comes out that it is on and that the RTK is working without any problem. On the front, this screen with the 2 cameras and an LED to illuminate at night when necessary. And all of this composed in a module that, as you can see, is very aesthetic. It reminds me a bit of a small Formula 1. It's very funny and honestly very functional. Of course, in this kit, as we have assembled and you have seen, we have the cutter on one side, the parking base on another, the garage on another, the contactors that will simply go in this part here, which I have not named, which are metal contactors. The moment they come into contact with the part of the charging base, the device will start charging. The global positioning system signal can be placed on the wall or the ground using the included stake. To have total satellite coverage, in this case we have several forms of connectivity. We have your input doesn't seem to be a metric system unit. Please provide a valid metric system unit such as kilometers, grams, liters, etc. that we can enjoy for a month for free. We have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and of course the satellite connection. Now we move on to talk a little about the technical specifications and the tests we have of this device. and one of them would be connectivity, which I mentioned by RTK, which would be this module that we have here, which combines RTK with ultra-sensy artificial vision by artificial intelligence. And this allows it to position itself with almost centimeter precision, even in areas where the satellite signal is weak or interrupted. For instance, when you're under trees, in hallways, or in more abrupt areas. As for the environment that surrounds us, the digital paper will do it through the application. We can do it manually or automatically, and it will be able to recognize a maximum of 800 square meters, and it will take approximately about 10 minutes, depending on the area, whether it is more or less. The disk engine has a power of 88 watts, which is going to give us more than enough power. For grass, remember that this is not for clearing, it is for maintaining a lawn and only making a cut periodically and always maintaining our lawn. Since it does not accumulate, it does not have any type of drawer where it is going to accumulate, it is simply going to go cutting, devastating. And that same cut will be used as fertilizer so that the grass continues to grow. We have cut here before, and you will be seeing the images that it leaves. Then we can pick it up if we want, but it leaves it in place to serve as its own fertilizer. It has a battery of 2.4 amps, which is going to give us more or less a usage time of about 55 minutes. Ideal, then if we have surfaces of more than 600 square meters, then we can divide it into different sessions. And the charging time is 90 minutes. The truth is that it charges quite fast, and the battery, well, as I tell you, it's going to be to divide it into surfaces that are not excessively large. In terms of sensors and safety, it is capable of detecting more than 200 types of objects. In this case, have you also seen in the test that we can set delimited areas if we want to have, for example, the area of a manhole, an area where we don't want it to pass, a sensitive area, and also be able to... Then we choose the type of cut it is going to make, whether it is going to be a complete grid, normal crossed, double, and apart from the perimeter. Choose if we want it to cut once or twice so that it is well flush and good. In summary, as the main features of this Yuka Mini 600 from Mamotion, we have a vision with UltraSense artificial intelligence and RTK navigation. Referring to automatic mapping without perimeter wires, intelligent object evasion system, perfect positioning with carpet effect lawn mowing and creative printing, quite extensive battery life. We're talking about having a maximum coverage per cut of 150 square meters and a maximum cut size of 800 square meters. Using the app's straightforward controls, you can manage up to 15 customized zones. Enhanced cutting capacity, 88 watt motor and 5 pivoting blades. And in this way, you will dominate 99% of residential gardens with the ability to climb slopes of up to 50%, that is 27 degrees. The best thing is its lightweight design of 10 kilograms and it's very quiet, you barely hear it. Compared to gasoline or diesel lawnmowers, which you'll have to wear headphones all the time to avoid headaches. And that's it. The conclusion is that we are going to have a new generation of smart devices with artificial intelligence, as I was telling you, with automatic sensors, all from a smartphone. And we can be at ease, especially if you have residential gardens and want to be doing other types of activities. Dedicate time to what really matters and these types of activities. What is to mow the lawn and maintain it, leave it to technology, that's what it's for. What I would miss and negative things I could point out would be the battery, which, after all, is a somewhat scarce battery. For very large surfaces, we have cut an area only for the test. But it is true that for surfaces that are very wide, this battery will fall short. And you will have to do it for several hours. And then there's also the issue that it doesn't have a drawer, that it leaves it behind. Well, for some it may be a positive thing. For me, I see it a bit negative. It is true that other models do include it, but well, this particular one, this Mamotion Yuka Mini, Alora 600 al Baliloa 899 available on their website. Any discount codes will be in the description. It works wonderfully, it's very aesthetic, easy to assemble, and super autonomous, automatic in every sense. And it really is a help to get rid of hassles and keep maintaining our garden every week. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave your opinions in the comments. What do you think? Any appreciation, any doubt you have, we are going to read it, we are going to answer it, and as always, thank us for being there and see you in the next episode of TechGround. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our reviews. See you soon.